Someone's Homebrew, coming at you with a beer review. You know, you go into your local shop and you see all kinds of beers, and then you read one and it has the claim, caution, so good you will shit yourself. How could you resist such a claim? Well, I gotta tell you, I've resisted this beer for well over a year, despite the claim. Maybe you'll understand why. Here it is. It's the Brown Note. From Against the Grain Brewery. Now, this is like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did they come out with the name Against the Grain Brewery? Or did they come up with this beer first and decide that was a great name for the brewery? You know? Against the Grain Brewery's out of Louisville, Kentucky. And you can see this guy is definitely shitting himself. It's a brown ale. It's made with British malts and oats. They've also used British yeasts. And then they said they put a healthy dose of Cascade hops in at the end of the boil. It sounds interesting. My son Christian told me I really need to review this one, so here we go. We're gonna get it cracked open. I gotta tell you, it looks kind of thin coming out. I'm not a huge brown ale fan, but you know, I'm going for it. I got a sense of humor. All right, so I can see through the bottom essentially, and the bottom you've got some like ruby hues. It's kind of a reddish brown in color. Got basically a one finger head. It's a very light khaki color. Let's go for the nose. What can I say? It smells like a brown ale. I've never been a big brown ale fan. Smells thin to me. It smells like it's got like a light chocolate. It's got a light nuttiness to it. You can tell there's oats and it's got a light creaminess to it, but it doesn't feel very creamy. The chocolate, what kind of chocolate? Pretty nondescript chocolate, to be honest with you. I do get some earthiness coming off of it. I get something else. I'm not quite sure what it is. Probably those Cascade hops. It's a brown ale. What can I say? We're gonna dive on in. Cheers. All right. Okay, I'm gonna start with the body. Well, because you really have to dress the body. You know, either that body or the texture that he's advertising on this. I don't know. At any rate, in terms of the body, it's a medium to light body. It's kind of someplace between there. So it is pretty thin, just like it looked. God, almost a tinniness to it, I want to say. So there's a very thin chocolate. You're definitely getting some bitterness on this. So it actually kind of dries out on the back of the palate. It's dry to semi-dry. And there's a light nuttiness to it. You definitely get some roasted malts on that. And the roasted malts is what kind of hangs on the backside. The roasted malts and that bit of bitterness kind of hangs on as it dries out. But again, both are light. There's just a light hint of caramel going on. Dark, semi-sweet chocolate, but again, very thin, very light. There's almost like the roastiness, almost has like an acidic coffee grind taste to it. You can tell it's just, I'm making this sound so appealing, right? Well, I've been sipping this for a little while. Their catch line, caution, so good it will make you shit yourself. Yeah, I'm not buying that one. It's clever, I'll give them that, but it's all about marketing. But I tell you what, I just don't think it's that great. I've had much better brown ales. I think probably some of the better brown ales, of course, been Imperials. But setting that aside, I think AleSmith makes a really good brown ale that I've enjoyed. There's a good English brown ale. There's a nice sweetness and so forth. This one, the addition of the Cascade doesn't do much, particularly for brown ales. There's not enough substance to do it. You've got those earthy British hops on there. So a good amount of bitterness for a very thin beer. And there's just not enough balance. There's not enough sweetness on this. It's 5% ABV. Had to have been a very modest grain bill, and they just didn't. They attenuated it down too low, making it a dry beer on top of it. not keeping enough sweetness to balance this out, in my opinion. Having said that, is it horrible? No, it's not horrible. It's just not great. So let's start off with rating it as a brown ale. In terms of a brown ale, I could kind of go either way. I'm not going to say it's very strong. I'm going to give it an 86 in terms of brown ales. It's just maybe barely into that very good categories, that B to B plus range. Overall, for me personally, again, I'm not a big brown ale fan, so I just can't rank it very high at all. Christian would rank it higher, but I'm going to drop it all the way down to a 77. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got to go there. If you haven't figured it out, my score and this can, it's all on the same plane right there. It's a shit beer. No, or maybe, I don't know. Well, yeah, pretty much that's it, because that was a Hershey squirt right there. All right, well, it's the Brown Note from Against the Grain Brewery. I'm sure they make some wonderful things against the grain. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky. This is Kevin Clemens Sober saying life's too short to drink cheap beer, and I'll see you in the next beer review.